Hey guys, welcome to the Skolo Online YouTube channel, the channel that is all about learning. Yes, we are back again this week to continue with our video tutorial series where we are generating an OpenAI based content generating platform, software as a service that we're going to be using to generate blogs, all sorts of AI content, sort of like your copy.ai type platforms, all right? And this is lecture 6, I think. So the one we did last week was 5. This is lecture 6 in the series. If you're just catching up with us and you just discovered this video on YouTube, go back to the description of the video, have a look at the description there. And inside of the description, you will see previous videos, and I will link all the previous videos. There's a lot of videos you're going to have watched to get to where we are right now, because where we are already ahead. We've already built a lot of the stuff. We're just continuing where we left off last week. All right. So again, if you're new to this channel, remember to hit that subscribe button at the bottom of the video. Remember to like this video. It does help our channel when you sort of interact with our videos to make this video visible to more people. All right. Now, where we are this week, by the end of this video, by now you should have this part done, all right? The dashboard, which is empty, we're going to fill this in later, all right? You should have this page done already where you can just enter a blog idea and keywords. So what we've done in this video, by the end of this video, I'm going to show you where we're going to be. We've added a blog audience, so you should be able to enter a blog idea. Let's say you want to write about preparing for a marathon. All right, you should be able to select an audience and say this is for beginners, and the keywords is, I don't know, running, a training, marathon. You can enter as many keywords as you like. It helps the generator to also generate more. So by the end of this video, you should be able to do this and with the audience, and have like a list of blog titles that are generated for you. All right, we added these new buttons where you can save a title in case you want to use it later and you don't want to really create a blog with it now. All right, you can do that. And then now, let's say we want to work with this blog title here. We can click this button that says use, and then it generates blog sections for us for this blog title. All right, there it is. It has generated some sections, how to cross-train, the benefits, the base, and then at this point you can select the sections that you want to use in your blog. So let's say I want to start with that section, I want to do that section, and then I want to do that section. All right, and then I don't want to do these other ones. All right, because these sections you'll be charged for the tokens used. So let's say I just want to work with these ones. All right, I should be able to then click this button and generate a full blog based on those titles and the sections that it has generated for me. So this is just click, click, click. No thinking. You decide on a topic. It generates for you ideas. It generates for you topics. And then you pick the topics that you want to use. You just click, 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 and it writes the entire blog for you. All right. Now, whether or not OpenAI would approve such an app, I don't know. But you could build it for yourself for your own content generation purposes, right? There's our blog. Your blog is ready. What kind of cross-training is necessary to complement your running? There you go. That's your keywords. How to start cross-training for beginners. The benefits of cross-training for runners. The cross-training workouts for runners. There you go. It has written an entire blog for you. So all you need to do right now is boom. Maybe we'll have an export button, export in PDF. You can print it out, or you can just like copy and paste it. You could do anything that you want. So by the end of this blog, you will be here with this, video tutorial. Okay, so let's start learning from the beginning. Make sure you've got your website running, because by now you should have at least this part of the website. Watch, I'm showing you. If you've been following along, make sure you've got that running. And it's fine if it's running on a development server, because obviously that's where we are right now. Okay, make sure that you've got your OpenAI playground open as well. So by now you should also have an account on OpenAI and navigate through to the playground and open that window, because we're going to be using that quite a bit. Okay. Make sure you've got your code editor running. This is all the code we've written so far. So if you've been following along, you should have this code up to where I have it here today. So make sure you've got your code editor open in all the sections that we've been doing up to this point. Make sure that you have your server running. Obviously, if you have been, if your website is running there, where is it? then you'll have your your sort of your virtual machine running. All right, so all of these things, you need to have them open before you can carry along and continue with me. If you need a moment, you can pause this video at this stage, go back, open up your your code editor, run the server, make sure that everything runs well and that you can find yourself on this page where we left off last week. All right. And the whole point of this tutorial is you're not meant to watch it like you're watching a movie. You're meant to code as I code, follow along. This is one of the reasons why I also don't just want to give you the code. I want you to actually code as you go with me, because that's where muscle memory comes in. That's where you're going to start to remember the things that you've done. That's how you're going to become a better coder. Okay, so don't watch this video like you're watching a movie. This is a tutorial, a learning series. So get off your laptops and get on your laptops and code as I code. Now, we're gonna just test everything we've done so far. You should be able to enter a blog idea and some keywords, click this button, and then it generates blog topics for you. That's where we left off last week. So, I don't know, what do you want to write about? Let's say we want to write about, preparing for a marathon, all right? And then running marathon as keywords, all right? Fitness, I don't know, and then try and generate blog topic ideas. It takes a bit of time. Obviously, we are dealing with an API, so it takes time to bring the results. But here is the topics it has generated for me. And I didn't specify how many topics it should generate. I think we need to do that. So let me just note that we need to tell it how many topics, all right? Because obviously we are charging people for every time we get keywords back. So I'm thinking we don't want more than 6 topics. In my mind, you can change this yourself in the code and I'll show you where we're going to do it. All right, there you go. Here's some topic ideas: how to place yourself during a marathon, what to do if you hit a wall during a marathon, how to stay motivated during a marathon. So these are the topics it has generated. So what I want to do from here is for somebody to pick a topic they want to work with. All right. So let's say you want to pick, I don't know, this topic or that topic. And also for you to be able to have the option to say, pick this topic or save that topic, So maybe let's say you don't want to pick a topic and you want to save another one, so you don't have to come here and generate it again. So I think we should have the option to, somebody can pick a topic, okay? And then somebody can save a topic, which means in future, you can come back and let's say you wrote about what to do if you hit the wall during a marathon. The next time you want to write about the importance of cross training during a marathon, you can do that. So that's already the first thing I see that we need to sort of add to this. And then the third thing that I want to be able to do is I want somebody to be able to, what am I looking for? I want someone to be able to enter an audience, all right? The reason why enter an audience, you will see later on when we're in the blog sections, we're going to be able to use that information to, to sort of help, format the parts of the blog that we're writing about, right? So I think there are 2 things you want to be able to do. Somebody must be able to enter a topic and an idea, keywords, an audience, and then later on save that. So we did also work on the models over here. We worked on the blog model. So before I forget, what this is a related field there. So let me just note that so I don't forget. So we have already the title and the keywords. So if, for example, somebody decides to save a blog title, we'll just save it for them, and then later they can sort of just work with it. And then we'll have the keywords, and then I want to be able to save here an audience. All right, an audience will be let's say I want to write about marathons for beginners, so audience, I'll say beginner runners or whatever, and then that audience will also help generate better topics, but at least we can save the audience to be able to use at a later stage. All right. And what is also important, I think, and maybe I'm not going to do it, but I'll let you think about how you want to do it in your own blog, is not all blogs are the same. sometimes you write a blog and it's like a tutorial. Sometimes you write a blog and it's like an information type of a blog. Sometimes you write a blog and it's, like blogs have certain intents, right? So what I would say to you right now, think about also being able to create different intents for your blog. But for now, I'm going to focus on an informational type blog. So I'm going to assume people that are coming here are writing information pieces. They're going to go and get information and write about it. All right. And yeah, I think that's it. So let me add this one quickly and say I'll have a blog keywords over there. All right. And then now, not all keywords, but like audience. All right. So the audience, I don't think that needs to be long. Maybe 100 characters should be more than enough. All right. Then the next thing that I want to do here is when somebody, so maybe on the next page, what we saw, that list over there, want to put that list in some sort of a table. All right. So let's see how that would look like, because currently we don't have it in a table. So this block sections over here, it's just like a paragraph. Okay. So it's just showing in a list of a paragraph and a break after that paragraph. So what I want to do is show this in a table. All right. You could do it in a table, or you could do it like, because I want to have options like save this topic, and stuff like that. I want to be able to know what topic I'm talking about. So that's what I'm thinking of, creating something like a table. All right. I'm assuming we've got Bootstrap here. So I'm going to say class is equals to table. Hover. I hope this is correct. I'm gonna have to check with my documentation, and then we're gonna need a table head, and then we're gonna need a table row inside of the head, and then we're gonna need a table sort of headers in there. Okay, we're gonna need a table body, and then we're gonna need a table row in the table body, and then we're gonna need a table sort of a cell in there. And then for the header, it's going to be like the blog topic. All right. And then the next thing is going to be like, we're going to have some buttons and options. So we're going to say not use topic. Let's say save topic. All right. And then we're going to, okay. So I'm thinking now over here inside of the models, maybe something else we want to put in here is a topic. It's the topic, because then we're going to be able to then separate and divide the blogs based on the topic. So in future, when you want to come back, you could check the topics you've already done, and then you could go into a certain topic, and then you could see if you've saved something in those topics. So there'll be a title of the blog, and then there'll be a topic. All right. And a topic is also just a character field. So the topic in this specific case, if you've written about marathons, the topic will be marathons. The next time maybe you want to write about software, the topic will be software. So that in future, if you want to come back and want to write about software again, you could basically do a search on the topics, and you could see if you've saved something on software before in the past. Okay, so let's have something like that. All right. And then inside of the blog topics, no, block sections. All right, so we'll have the title. So this one will be a title. All right, so there'll be a button that says save the topic, and then there'll be a button that says use the topic. All right, so there'll be a button that says save, there'll be a button that says use. Somebody clicks the save button, they save that topic. If they say use, then they continue to write with that topic. Okay, and then over here in the rows, we will have now for blog topics, we'll create a different row. For every time there's a blog topic instance, we'll create a different row, and then this will be the end for, right? So the table will have as many rows as are generated inside of these blog topics. Okay. And then what else would we do here? Then in here we have 3 cells. All right, so it's TD, and then cell number 1 will obviously be the blog itself. The blog itself will be in there. All right, and then in here will be a button. All right, so let's call this a class. What's happening there? All right, let's call this a class is equals to button let's use a button primary over there, and then this button is to save the topic. All right, and then let's have another button. Let's just actually copy this button to the bottom there, and I don't know, secondary, or we could have it button primary still, and maybe have it a button outline. Actually, let's have it button primary. Let's have this one as outline, and then that's save a topic, and then this one is use the topic, so that it's more prominent. So the button primary will be more prominent, and the save one will sort of be there, but like it will be an outline button, right? And then we can then remove these. All right, so now what will happen is when we generate those block sections, we will have a table instead that shows the blogs, and then it shows like somebody has an option to say, I want to save this topic, or I want to use this topic to generate the next thing. And obviously if somebody says use topic, then we're going to route them to the next part of writing the blog. And if they just want to save the topic, we're just going to like sort of save it for them in the background in the database, so that in future they can come back and maybe continue writing on that blog topic, right? So, and then maybe we want to indicate if a topic has been saved, right? So when they come back, maybe we will this button, we will make it disappear if that topic has already been saved, because we don't want them to save it twice. Okay, but we'll think about that, how to do that. All right, so we've got our models now. I've added two things in here, a topic and an audience, all right, which I want people to be able to enter, which means over here inside of the blog topic there, I want to have an audience. I want them to have a place where they can enter an audience. So actually before the keywords over here, let's have a section for audience. So let's say the blog audience. All right, and then enter, who is this blog targeted at? Who is the blog targeted at? And then we're gonna just call this audience. So there's the blog idea, there's the audience, and then there's the keywords. And then if I go back into my views, I must just make sure that I also collect this audience over here. So that there it is. I must make sure that I collect it. Okay. Right, and then currently I save these blog topics in the session, but I don't save the idea. And so this blog idea is actually the blog title and the keywords. Okay, so I need to save all of these things in the session as well, because I want to be able to use it later on, the idea, the keywords, and the audience when I'm adding stuff into the database. So we'll have the blog topics, which is a list. It's already in the session. So what I want to be able to do now as well is inside of a session. All right. Actually, I can just do it underneath here. Request.session that. Okay, request.session that. Request.session that. I'll just make some space. So request.session blog idea. All right. Request.session keywords. All right, and request.session audience, all right, is equals to this audience over there. All right, so it's equals to the audience. So this is equals to the audience, the one that we've gotten from the form. This is equals to the keywords. We can clean up this code later, because I can already see we're gonna have too much spaghetti code over here. But maybe later on you can work on cleaning this audience, because now instead of creating the variable and then just saving it in the session, you could just save it in the session once. So you could just say request.session blog idea, and then you could just make it that, and then over here you could refer it from the request.session. But it's the same thing. Maybe if I do it like here, you can see what we're doing here. So maybe let me add some comments in future so you can see what I'm doing here. Here I'm retrieve the blog idea string from the form. All right, this is what this is doing from the submitted form. Okay, from the submitted form, which comes in the request.post. Okay, that's what we're doing there. After we do that, we are then saving that string, saving that blog idea string, okay, in the session to access later in another route, for example. So requested session is a really good way of saving information. It's like in this in the session of the browser. So each and every single person will have their own session instance, and you could save that information in the short term. So if somebody clears their cookies, so for example, you lose your session information. But most people are not going to be clearing the cookies every 5 minutes. But if somebody doesn't have cookies active, this might not work as well. But most people actually do have them, right? So it's a good way of like saving information in the short term before you save it in the database, until you know if the client wants to save it. So maybe the client discards this blog and they don't want to save it, then it's okay if you can lose the session. But it allows you to say between these routes, between this page and the next page, I can keep that information in the session, and then once the user decides which blog they want to save, I'll then be able to use the blog idea and the keywords to save it inside of my model, because I don't want to save it in the model every time, and then the client doesn't want to save it at the end of the day. You understand? So that's what we do. That's why we're doing it like that. Okay. So now we are collecting the idea, and the forms and all of that, and then we're gonna continue doing what we're doing before. But instead, when we are displaying the information here, we are going to be displaying it in a table format as opposed to what we had before. And I'm thinking now, this table, we could make it a little bit longer, because so we could make this a table 8, and then make this one a column 4, so that this is a bit of this column is longer than that one, and this is a little bit smaller. Because we got a table, maybe we might need a little bit more space. But let's just see how that looks first, and then we'll decide. We can always take it back. All right. And then what we're doing now, we are pushing. We are making commit. We are making changes to our Git commit, and let's see. Okay, progress, and then we're gonna push those changes. All right. So okay. Coolio, so that worked. So let's now okay, I need to reconnect to my server. It has stopped running. All right, I keep using my different password. I keep forgetting I'm on a different server. All right, so the server is running. The first thing, because we've made changes to the database, if you see over there, I've added a new row, and I've added a topic. This wasn't there before, right? So every time you make changes to a model, you need to run your migrations again, so that all of that or those changes get reflected as well in the database. So what I need to do here is I need to get to where I was. I think it's called Garabo. Let's see there. I need to activate my virtual environment. All right, so let's activate the environment. All right, and then I need to go there again, my working folder. So this is where all of my files are. The manage.py file is always the file where your working folder is, your working files are. So once I get here, what I need to do is to run migrations again. All right, so for that, you're gonna do manage.py, make migrations, because you've made changes to the database. Let's see. What is this one? It is impossible to add a non-nullable field topic to blog without specifying a default. All right, so this topic, I need to specify a default. All right, so this one, what did I add? I added a topic, not the title. All right, so I want it to be nullable, by the way. I don't want it to, so actually let's then move it. So title was first, I think. and the title was the one that we couldn't allow to be nullable. So the next time we add a new field, there could be other records in the database, and then if it's, you must specify a default for that field every time. But I don't want to specify a default because it's okay that the topic can be null, okay? But the title must never be null, okay? All right. So let's save this and let's push this. Let's just stop this one and we'll do this migrations again. All right. Right, so let's try migrations again. This time we ran without an issue, and then we need to then migrate. All right, so we're good to go. So now we can just run the server. All right. All right, so let's wait for it to run. It's running already. So let's refresh this page. And now this time we've got the idea, the audience, and the keyword. Okay. So when we are running our, let's just remember where our function is. This generate block topic ideas function is inside of our functions. There it is. So generate block topic ideas on the following topic. So remember I said I want to give it a number. All right. So you can simply just say generate 6 block topic ideas. It's that simple. You can tell it I want only 6 block topic ideas and it will bring you only 6. So if you want to limit this, because I saw sometimes it gives you 5 and then the next time it gives you 12, so to help the user standardize things, and also for your costing, because every time if you generate 12 and it brings you 12, you are going to okay, you have a max tokens there, but still you're using extra that you don't need. So let's say 6 block topic ideas on the following topic and blah, blah, and the keywords, on the block topic ideas. Yeah. All right. So I'm thinking now the block topic ideas on the following topic, on the given topic, on the given topic, right? On the given topic for the audience, so I want, no, I think I'm confusing myself. So this is the topic, and then you're going to enter the topic there, right? And then there's a new line, and then there's keywords, right? And then the new line. Okay, so before the keywords, all right, I'm going to enter another new line, right? And then this new line, the second new line is going to be audience, right? The audience is going to be that audience, and then there's going to be another new line in keywords. So I'm entering a sort of an audience between the keywords. So there's a topic, there's going to be a topic, right? And then after the topic, there'll be immediately a new line, no spaces, and then there'll be an audience, all right? And then there'll be another new line, and then there'll be the keywords, and then there'll be the new line with the extra stuff, okay? So the one that comes in first is a topic, and then after topic, we're going to have an audience. All right, and then this audience must come in at the top here. It needs to come into the function. We need to have audience, topic, audience, keywords, which means that we need the same sort of topic, audience, keywords on the other side. Okay, so we have the topic, audience, keywords, which go in here, the topic, the audience, and the keywords. So inside of the views, we need to make sure that we blog idea, keywords, and then here we need an audience. The audience comes in the middle. All right, so this audience has already been specified over there. So that's the same audience that then comes also into the function. All right. Oh, awesome. So let me just repeat again what I've just done so that you're following along. Okay. What we learned, and this can happen, as we're writing the code, we learned actually it might be useful to have an audience because it will help the AI generate better topic because it knows who you're talking to, right? And then the audience will also help us later on when we're doing the blog sections to get better streamlined sections when we are sort of asking the AI specific questions. So now we've got an audience. And now that we've got an audience, we're also saving everything inside of the session, but we need to then update our function. This is our function over here that we're calling on the view page, but this function is actually being written over there, right? And then this is the prompt that we give the AI. So what I did is that I started by adjusting the prompt to include the audience so that we're telling it what our audience is. And I sort of squeezed it in between the topic and the keywords, okay? So the topic goes in there, the keywords go there, and I squished in the audience there. So now that audience is added there, and therefore I had to add it into the function because if I put it in there, it has to come in somewhere. All right, and if I put it in there, coming in there, I also have to include it in there, but it's coming from the form. All right, so that should be good. I'm gonna now run this, and then this time it should be able to generate for me a topic with a specific audience in mind as well. Okay, so let's push these changes again. Wrong password. Okay, I know. Enter it again. Coolio. And then, all right, the server just reran. That's cool. Okay, so let's try this again. Marathon training tips. All right. For beginners. All right, marathons, training, running, fitness. All right, let's generate the topic ideas. There you go. Now, actually, there you go. How to start? Now you see generated 6 only. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, just like I specified. And we've got save and use. All right. So I'm thinking instead of saying use topic, save topic, maybe what I can do here is that I can just, I think we can remove this image completely. Right. So inside of the blog sections, we can remove this completely. Actually, I'm just gonna like sort of highlight it out, and then we'll make this 12, right? So that we can make this longer. All right. And then so now people can see that the topics that have been generated, they can decide to save. So if they click save, what should happen is that this topic should then go into the database and get saved so they can use it later. And then if they say use, it should take us to the next page where we start generating some sort of options that that they can work with. So we're gonna generate like some high level sections, all right, and then they can pick those sections. And let me see what my section class looks like. Just functions. Let's see. No models. So for my sections, I'll have a title of the section, I'll have a body of the section, and then I'll have the blog that is related to, which I would have saved at the top there. All right. All right. So I think what I need here is, all right, now I'll have the blog that is related to. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I think that's okay. The title and the body, that's it. Everything else is saved over here. The keywords and the audience are saved over there inside of the blog. Yeah, I think that's okay. Then somebody says use topic. We're going to run another AI request to now generate some high level topics. All right. And then we will show the topics maybe on the left over here, and we'll have a content writer on the right here. And then people can sort of like add topics into, or decide what topics they want to, or maybe there'll be like a tick box that you can tick. Maybe we'll have a tick box there, and you can say, I want to use this topic, that topic, that topic, that topic. And then go to the bottom of the table and say, these are all the topics I want, and boom, it writes your blog. That would be cool, right? Okay, cool. So let us then, let's do that. So let's do the save topic. So this save topic is a button. Okay, let's start by giving it an anchor. And this anchor is going to have an href. Right, and then this href is gonna go to a URL, and this URL we're gonna call it whatever we wanna call it, and then it's probably gonna take in a blog dot unique. Actually, it's not gonna take in anything. It's just gonna take in the URL. No, it will take in the blog. This blog. Yeah, it will take in that blog, because we're gonna need to know what we are saving. All right. So let's create this URL. So let's go into our URLs, and so this URL here is for saving the blog topic for future use. Right. And this. Let us just copy one of these. All right. And then generate blog topic. Let me call it save blog topic. Save blog topic. Save blog topic. All right. Something like that. Right, and then we're going to have another URL that we're going to call use blog topic. So if they click on the second button, all right, we're going to say use blog topic, use. All right, so let's go here and save blog topic. Let us put it inside of our views. All right. So this is going to be def, put it in there. It takes in a request. It also takes in a blog topic, right? So this blog topic, it needs to take in a blog topic. This blog topic, if we go back to the URLs, we need to give it a blog topic here, all right? So there's going to be like a, like a variable sort of like that we need to add. We can call it, you can think of it like a, like a variable string that you have to give it. Because what happens here is that when you go into the blog sections and you want to save a topic, it needs to know which topic it's saving. And this topic is going to be the topic which is in the current row that you have clicked the button on. So if you look at the buttons here, there are different buttons depending on the row that you've clicked. So each and every row here is a blog in the blog topics, which is a list. So now when you click this button, it needs to know which row you clicked. So the row that you clicked is the row of where the current blog instance is, this instance that we decided to call blog. So this string, you need to pass it into the URL so that it can, know that when it generates in the next, whatever you're going to use in the next page, you are talking to the right topic. So you have to give it the instance of the row that you're currently in when you clicked. All right. So now this blog, we're going to call this, let's go back to the URLs, and we've decided to call this save blog topic. So let me just copy that before I forget. So going to the model, into the rows, where are we now? And call this blog a save blog topic. All right. Cool. And then this blog here is the same blog here, which is this same title here, how to start training for a marathon. How to start training for a marathon is basically what's going to be sent over there. How to start training for a marathon is what's going to be sent over there, which means it's what we're going to get inside of the URLs, okay? And it's a string, okay? So I'm going to call this a string, and then I'm going to call this string blog topic, all right? And I must call it the same thing that I use on the other side inside of the views. All right, so instead of the views, I've called it blog topic as well. All right, so which means suddenly inside of this new view function, I've got this blog topic string that I can start using to do things with. All right, so let me just already create the context. Actually, I don't have to serve an HTML file. I can reroute back to that old page, but all of these views that I've got, they need login required. Okay, so login needs to be required for all of these. Make sure you don't forget this login required decorator on top of all of your functions, because technically you don't want someone to access this views or this if they haven't logged in. You know, number one, they are using up your credits. You need to know who they are. Later on, we're going to add an extra layer where we are calculating you know, every time they, you know, stuff gets generated, how much it's generated, and so that we can deduct it from their credits. So they need to be logged in, but we'll do that later on. For now, let's just work on focus on the functionality of the blog generator. Then after that, we will then look into how to do the billing and how to make sure that we count every single word that somebody uses, so that we can, like, you know, keep track of how much people are using, so we can charge them accordingly, right? So now that's the blog topic. So we have a blog topic inside of here. What are we going to do with that blog topic? We're going to save it. We're going to save it inside of this models. So we got a model called blog. So we're going to call this blog model. And this blog model, we need to make sure that we have imported it at the top there. So from models, import blog. That's okay. So we're going to say blog is equals to, we're going to create this blog model. So to create a model instance, you're going to say blog.objects.create, right? And then I'm just going to go back to the models and see all the things I need to specify over here. All right, I need to specify all of these things, the title, the blah, blah. So let's go back into the views and specify these things. All right. So the word count we don't have. It's not important for now. We will calculate this word count later. Right, the audience, the keywords, the topic, the title, right? So remember, all of these things, we already have them saved in the request.session, right? So the title is this request.session blog idea. All right, so this is the title. At this point, it would have been saved in the session, because by the time somebody saves this is already in the session technically, but we'll do a check for this earlier so we don't get an error, because this could throw an error if somebody lands on this page and they had not you know, saved it, because it's technically possible somebody like finds this URL and just goes there, and then we don't want an error out. So we need to like sort of catch that error in case that thing happens. So we're going to do obviously a check that it's there. And the topic is this blog topic over here. So this is the specific topic of the blog, right? No, actually, this is the topic. This is the title of the blog. Is this topic that they have that is on here. So this is the topic. And what I'm calling topic here actually is what the person entered before. So I'm actually confusing myself. So this is the blog idea. I should have renamed it to blog idea. Perhaps I should rename it to blog idea, because I'm going to confuse myself. So if I look at the model here, this topic, technically, this should be the blog idea. This should be the blog idea, and you should be able to rename things. I hope I don't get an error inside of the thing, but because I've decided to call it blog idea, now I can't call it blog idea there. I can. Yeah, it's already blog idea here. Yeah. Yeah, so let's call it blog idea, and then here we will rename it to blog idea, not the topic. So this is the original idea that the person entered. This is the topic that was generated for them by the AI. So later on, we want to be able to save these topics that we can search via blog idea. So in future, we can say you're saved based on these blog ideas that you had. These are the topics that you decided to save. You understand? And then the keywords are Our request.session keywords should be saved in there. All right. And then the audience, we've got the audience as well figured out. We should also save it, the audience as well, request.session.audience, okay? And let's put that in there. All right, and then the profile, remember the profile is, if I look at the models, the profile has got a user on a one-to-one field. So what we can do here is that we can just say request.user.profile. All right, and then this is inside of a sort of bracket, so you need the commas after every variable that you enter, and then you can take this back there. And over here, to catch these exceptions that can be can happen if somebody, let's say, landed on this URL without going the proper way that we're trying to direct them via the path. We need to sort of check that the blog idea is in the request.session. All right, so blog idea like that is in the request.session, and keywords in request.session, and audience in request.session. Right, and this audience is a string. So what we're doing here is that before we continue, if somebody comes into this page, I want to check that these things are available in the request.session. They should be technically if you went the proper route, right? But if somebody like entered this URL manually without going through the normal generate blog route, that might not be the case. And then these things are not going to be there in the request.session. Or maybe they cleared their cookies and these things are not there in the request.session. I don't want to get an error page, because what would happen if you say request.session get these keywords, or request.session not post, and you say request.session get these things, and those things are not in the request.session, you're going to get an error, and you're going to get an error 500 on your thing, and you don't want that. So you want to catch these things quickly. So if this is the case, then you can run this blog, right? And then after that you can save it, right? But if it's not the case, okay, else if these things are not there, you want to reroute, you want to return redirect. You want to redirect them to a different URL. Actually, you want to redirect them back to we want to take you back to the blog topic, okay? So you want to send you back to the blog topic route, which means you're going to go back to the beginning where you have to select whatever. So if you get up here and you didn't have it, it will send you back there. And if this is done and it has been saved, we actually need to take you back to not the blog topic. We need to take you back to the blog sections. All right. So if you've saved, we need to return redirect back to the blog sections. All right. And by then you have saved this topic. All right. But if you're in the blog sections and you've saved a topic, you want that to be known. All right. So because you don't want now that you don't want that button to still be there. So what we can do is that, remember in this request dot, I'm trying to think how to do that. How to check if something has been saved already. Okay, it's fine. We can fix that later. All right. So that button will take us here and then it will save it. All right. Actually, I think I know how to do that. This blog topic is in that list, right? It's in this list over here, which is request.section.blog topics. Okay. So blog topics. So blog topics is equals to request dot session dot blog topics, right? And then I want to say blog topics, remove this blog topic that has just been saved already, right? And then resave it in the session again. Blog topics. See what we're doing here? What we're doing here is that we are recalling, because this is saved already in the session. The blog topics is already in the session. It's a list of topics, right? And now we have saved one of those topics in the database. And then what we're going to do is that we're going to call it, right? And then we're going to remove it. And then we're going to save it again. We're going to save it over the same thing. And now we're going to save it now with the topic that has been just saved, removed. So it shouldn't be there anymore, technically. Let's hope that works. But we must also just double check that blog topics is in the request.session, which will be technically in request.session. If I'm going a little bit too fast, because sometimes I think on the fly. I think as I'm coding. If you're following, you will notice that as I'm coding, I'm thinking at the same time. My mind is going at the same time I'm writing, and I'm sort of used to it. I get in the flow, and I might be going a bit too fast for some people, especially if Python is you're not too familiar with it, or you haven't written a lot of Python code or even Django. So if I'm going a little bit too fast, just pause the video, replay. Okay, that's why it's recorded, so that you can play it anytime and you can remind yourself, or you can catch something if you missed it, if I said it and you missed it. Okay, so I will be thinking as I'm coding, so in some cases I might be going a little bit too fast for some people. All right, now we'll remove that blog topic from the topics. And technically, when we go back to this page, because what this will do is that it will then redirect us back to the sections. The topic that we've saved should not be there in that list anymore, but the other topics should still be there in the list because they are still there. They are not removed in the list. And then you still have the option to save another one, all right? Now, the models, the URLs, we created another URL over here, which is called use blog topic, all right? I just need to create a view function for it, because if I don't, I'll get an error if I'm trying to test this. All right, so I need to just create the function. And technically, if I go into my URLs, this will be exactly the same as that. It will also be taking in a string. All right, so what we can do is that we can save that as well. Use blog topic is going to take in a string of a blog topic. And inside of the views, it will take in that request and blog topic. Okay, so it will take in a request and a topic. And you can just sort of return. What can we return here? We can return a string. I don't know, anything, all right? It doesn't matter. We're not going to go to this page. We just want to at least have this function there, because what the URL checks will do is that it will check that these functions exist. And I'll get an error over here if I haven't created the function on this side. We will write this function later. And it will require that the person who gets in here is login required, is logged in, and later on we'll fix this one. But I just want to test that we've changed the models, so we need to also run migrations before I forget them. We changed this, we renamed this field, so we're gonna need to run migrations again. So let's save everything, save all. Yes, every time you make changes to the database, every time you make changes to the database, you just have to remember to run migration again. Cool, yo. So let's stop this. This will immediately give us an error. Let's make migrations. manage.py make migrations. Actually, this is right at the bottom of the page. I don't know if you can see it, right? So I'm going to clear and then I'm going to paste it at the top. All right, make migrations. Let's see that. Was blog topic renamed to blog idea character field? Yes, I renamed it. Coolio and migrate. Awesome. So now I've named it to blog idea. Where I'm saving over here, did I do the same thing? Yes. Okay, so I shouldn't get an error there. But if there's an error, we'll fix it. Sometimes you miss things and then that is why you get errors. Errors are your friend. They are there to tell you that you've made a mistake and you must just read the error carefully and see what that mistake is and then fix it. When I was a young programmer, when I started, I used to be so afraid of errors. Every time I would see an error, I would like sort of freeze, like, oh my gosh, there's an error. But now, the more experience I get, I actually, errors are not, you're not going to break. You can't physically break a computer. I can't burn it down by writing bad code, okay? So it doesn't matter. Do not be afraid of errors. That is how you learn. Read the error, Google the solution on the internet, fix it. The more errors you fix, the more experience you'll become as a developer, okay? So let's run this, run server. And I try as much as possible to show my errors on screen if I get errors and take you through the problem solving of that error. I don't always cut the errors out of production, Some people do, but I don't. Because I want you to see the errors that if I've made a mistake, I want you to see it and then the error that I got and then how I fixed it, okay? So now we're going to do something different. We're going to say, generate another. Let's just use the same thing, okay? Preparing for a marathon, okay, and then I'm a beginner, and then I'm training, I am running, marathon. These are just keywords that I want to be included and I want to remember them for future. And generate blog topic ideas. There you go. How to start training for a marathon. I see didn't use any of the audience. So you can save topic or you can use topic. All right. Let's see. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 topics. Okay. So let's say I want to save this one. All right. But maybe I want to use that one. Okay. So I want to save this one. Okay. So let's save this one. There you go. It's not there anymore on the list. We've removed it from the list. But did it save? We don't know. We can check it in the database. All right. So let's go into the database. All right. And have a look. Okay, I'm logged in as somebody else. So I need to log in as I can't remember. What was my admin login? Let's hope this is the one. Okay, yeah, this is the one. So I've logged in as the site administrator and I want to go into the blogs and see if I've saved that one. There you go. The importance of rest and recovery. So that's saved, which means in future, I could display this back to the user to reuse that topic if they wanted to reuse it. So if you click on it, you'll see it saved the keywords, the blog idea that because this is what I initially entered, preparing for a marathon, the keywords, the audience, all right, the profile of the person who saved this and a lot of other things, the date it was done. And so this date and last updated and all these things are the things that we have inside of our models over here, which I've just gotten used to. It's become a habit. I save it every time with all my models because I want to be able to know when I change something, when I even though the model saves it, but I like it like this. Slugs and so forth. You'll see I've got a slug and all of those things. All right. Now, everything looks good. I can save a topic. I'm going to log out. And if I refresh this page, technically it should kick me out because login is required for this URL, right? There you go. So it has kicked me out because I've logged out because I logged into the other page and then I logged out. So I'm logged out. So I need to sort of log in again. Okay. Let me see my password. Awesome. Okay, cool. So now this works. Let's go to the next part. Okay, so the next part, what do we want to do next? Let's think about this clearly. When somebody now selects a blog topic, this is just saves it, but when they use it, we want to take that and generate blog sections. Okay, so let's go back to OpenAI, right? And so you should have your OpenAI playground. Remember, I asked you to have that window open. We're gonna pick DaVinci, we're gonna pick 0.7, and make sure you put maximum length a little bit higher. 500 is fine, you can leave it at 250 is fine, because I don't think the sections will be more than that. I wanna be able to say, you've got a topic, and then you wanna use that topic to generate blog sections, all right? So I wanna create now a prompt for generating blog sections from a blog topic. So the prompt is gonna look like, just think about giving this thing an instruction, okay? Generate blog sections, all right? Blog sections for the following blog topic, all right? And then we have the topic, and the topic will be, what topic did we end up choosing? I can't remember now. How to prepare for a marathon. All right, and then we had keywords. We'll have some keywords like that. Okay, marathons and all of that, and whatever the other keywords are running. All right, so generate blog sections. Generate adequate blog sections topic, and then we have an audience as well. Beginners, right? And if we do this, marathons, if we do this and we submit, it should generate blog topics for us. You see? So now, I'm not gonna, normally I showed you last week how to generate code from here, view code, and you could copy this code, all right? It's not necessary because I already have this code copied. The only thing I need to know is what prompt I wanna work with. So I've tested this prompt works, and this prompt looks very similar to the prompt we had for generating the blog topics. The keywords are exactly the same, in the same place. The topic is in the same, the sort of the topic, all right? And then the audience and everything. So the only difference is this part. You see, generate adequate blog sections for the following blog topic. So what I can do, when I go into my functions over here, everything is pretty much the same, right? Also, this is the blog section headings. I had already rewritten that, okay? So I'm going to like delete this for now, okay? And then I'm gonna actually copy this exactly. I'm gonna copy this exactly. In fact, I'm gonna just replicate this whole function and paste it at the bottom here. So this is for the blog section titles, all right? And everything is exactly the same. So this way it says blog topics. I just want to call it blog sections so that I don't confuse myself in the future. All right, so blog sections is an array over there, and then we add to that array, and then it's the array that we return, okay? All right. Then this prompt, generate adequate blog sections, all right? For the following blog for the generate adequate, my English is not my first language. So let me see. Generate adequate blog section titles. All right, I want to say blog section titles for the provided blog topic, okay, audience and keywords. I want to be very specific. It must use the keywords. It must use the the audience, and then after that there's like yeah. So now I'm going to now cut this and paste that in here. So the only thing that really changes over there is that generate adequate blog section titles for the provided blog topic, audience, and keywords. And then we'll have the topic, the audience, and the keywords. And they will come at the top there like that. And then we will be able to get this out. All right. So now this function, generate blog section titles, we need to make sure that instead of the views, we have imported the function. And I think we have importing all the functions, so we can just put it in here. So instead of returning anything over there, what we're going to do there, we're going to say the blog sections is equals to that function, generate blog section titles, all right, with the topic, the audience, and the keywords. All right, so how do we get the blog topic, the audience, and the keywords? We're going to do the exact same thing we did here. We're going to say if blog idea, so we're going to do all of this first. We're going to say if all of this is there, then we're going to do this. All right, if all of that is there, we're going to do that. And in this specific case, I think I don't need the last one because I'm not going to do anything with the blog topics anymore. Okay, so it's just the audience and the keywords, right? So the topic is this blog topic that the user selected. They selected that specific topic. All right, the audience is in the request.session. Okay, so request.session audience, right? So let's just do that. Audience, and the keywords are also in the request.session. Okay. And by now we've checked that they exist, so we know they are there. All right. So then we create the blog sections based on the topic, the audience, and the keywords. Coolio. So we should get a list of sections coming back here. All right. And now for these blog sections, I want to immediately generate a blog. I want to immediately generate a blog. All right. Because I got this question the last time that why are we doing everything in so many steps? And I know probably OpenAI will never allow it, but you can use your keys without getting your app approved personally before you have to launch your app, and maybe you can get your own AI content generator to do this, because this is actually very simple how you can do this now. Because you have the section titles, you can just generate the section bodies inside of the titles immediately. All right, so and I'll show you how. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to go and call for another OpenAI playground, so I can leave that one open, and I'll show you how to do that. All right, and then over here we're going to keep the temperature. We're going to make this one, maybe let's make it like 1000. All right, and let's say you've got a section title, you've got keywords, you've got an audience, and you've got a blog. You can generate a blog, like a section. All right, so what I'm going to do here for the prompt, I'm going to say generate a blog, a detailed blog, a section write up. Okay, for the following blog section heading, you know, given the blog title, audience and keywords, right? And then we're gonna get a new line, and then we're gonna say the blog title. All right, and then we're gonna have a blog section heading. And then we're gonna have a audience. We're gonna have a keywords. You see, generate detailed blog section write-up for the following blog section heading, given the blog title, audience, and keywords using the blog title, audience, and keywords provided. There you go. And then the blog title was what? What was the blog title we gave it? The blog title we gave it was this one, how to prepare for a marathon. All right, so this was the blog title. The blog section heading was, let's say we pick this section, how to start preparing for a marathon. All right, how to start preparing for a marathon. The audience was beginners, I remember this much. The keywords was running, marathon, training, whatever. Okay, so let's run this and see what OpenAI would bring to us. There you go. So this is a description for that title. All right. And we should be able to then, you know, do the same thing for all the titles that we've generated. All right. So maybe over here as well, when we generate this side on the functions, instead of saying adequate, let's say 5. It's a good round number. Generate 5 section titles. Okay, yeah, that's like a good round figure. Because otherwise, if it generates 10, we don't want to, like, you know, kill somebody's, you know. And then when it gets here in the blog sections, maybe what we'll do is that let's display the blog section in the table and have the person select which blog sections they want to include. Yeah, let's do that rather, because going straight ahead you might end up using sections they don't want to include. All right. Yeah, no, let's do that. So let's display this back to the, so let's say else, if there's a problem here, we want to redirect you back to the blog topic, right? All right. And over there, we are going to we are going to do something like this, right? We're going to have a URL. If the length is greater than whatever, then we're going to do that, okay? We're going to return back. We'll see where we're going to return you to. But okay, so if length of the blog sections, no topic. If the length of the blog sections is equal to that, we're going to add it to the blog, to the session. All right, and then we're going to have blog sections. And then we're going to redirect to select blog sections. All right, otherwise, oops, we could not generate any blog. Oops, you beat the AI. Try again. And then we take you back to the blog topic as well. right? So we need to create a URL or a page for these block sections where we will display the block sections like in a table per se, not in a table, maybe in a list, in a form list, and then they can like select the ones that they want, and and then we will do it like that. Okay. So let's build the HTML. So let's copy that and paste it in there, and then the HTML that we're going to build, we're going to call it a blog sections, create blog sections.html. All right, and let's build that page. So inside, so it's under the dashboard HTMLs, add a new file in there called that. It's an empty file. We can actually use the block sections. We can use this to copy this from there and put it inside the new file. We don't need that. We'll put everything in there. Actually, yeah, let's leave that for now. We'll have a form in here, right? So let's not have a table yet. Let's get rid of the table. Okay. And we'll have like a select the blog sections that you would like to include in the blog. Select the blog section that you would like to include in the blog. So let's say there's been more blog sections generated than you need. So maybe over here inside of the functions, we could generate a little bit more. Let's say 8 blog sections. And then over here, then we can then decide how many blog sections to include in the blog, right? But we're going to need a form for this, right? Actually, let's have this as column 8. Let's put it back to 8 and 4, right? And then have an image in there. And let's have all of this inside of a form. Right, so this whole row, let's put this entire row inside of a form so that we can have the button maybe on the other side. Okay, so this whole row, yeah, let's put this whole row inside of a form. All right, remove that action for the form, and it's a post form, because I want to be able to have a button in here, a submit button on the other side, right? So then over here, there'll be an H2 title. And inside of this title, then we can bring in our table, all right? So we can have bring in our table, all right? I don't know what class table I want to use here, class. Let's just use table hover again. Okay, and then have a table head. All right, and a table row and a table head in there, and then a table body, a table row, and a table cell, TD. Right. The table will, so the heading will just say the topic. In fact, we'll have like select, and then we'll have another TH where we'll show the topic, right? And then over here, we'll have like a TD and a TD. And I just want to see what this TD would look like, right? Because I haven't done this one before. This TD, I want it to be like an input, a checkbox. I want it to be like a checkbox. Input of type checkbox. You see? Yeah, there you go. An input of type checkbox. And I don't know if there is a form control here or whatever. And then the TD will be so in here, inside of the row, this row replicates as many times as there is the list. So we need to like create a space for the row here to replicate. So let's go back to where we copied this from. So for blog and blog sections is what we need to replicate here. Okay, and then over here we'll say and for. And then this blog topics is actually blog sections. And then we need to make sure that the blog sections, we are sending them through into the context. So over here, once we create the context there, in fact, we need to create the context at the beginning. So context is equals to that. And then we can create we can send it over here. So we can say context.blog sections is equals to blog sections. So this blog sections is the one that we are, yeah. So we created the context at the beginning. It's just an empty object. And then we add the blog section to the context. But here we check if there is something in the context. If there's something, we add it into the session. And then we send us to this page blog sections. And now in the section where by the time we send us here, we know that maybe what we can do, you can even like, instead of putting it there so that everything is in one place so you can understand what we're doing there, we can put it in there so that you can see. So over here is that we are adding the sections to the session. Okay, sections to the session. And over here, we are adding the sections to the context. Right. And then after that, return back to the page. That's obvious. Over here, we redirect if there's a problem. And then now, we should have this now blog sections list over here. And in this blog sections list, basically the only thing that we're going to be doing there is the blog itself. Or we can even call it section. So for section in blog sections, not for blog, so that we're clear about what we're doing here. So for section in blog sections, all right, we're gonna put in a section there, and then there's gonna be an input box there with we need to have a name for this, and the name for this is gonna be, yeah, we're gonna have a problem. The name for no, we're not gonna have a problem. I'm just thinking out loud. Sorry. The name for this can be that. All right. The value, it can be on or off. All right. We don't know if somebody's going to click on it. So let's leave the value as blank. And it's not required. And then over here, we'll have a button. Maybe let's have a break. Let's have a button over here. And this will be type submit, because this submits a form. Okay, and then the class can be button primary. And then, okay, complete, generate the blog. Full blog, right? So this button is generate full blog, all right? And it will generate a full blog. It will submit this form. This form will have a list of rows that are sort of like equivalent to the blog sections that you've generated, all right? And at least we have a name over there, and that name is based on the section. All right. I'm just trying to think. Yeah, the name is based on the section. All right. And then that is the same name that's shown over here. So, all right. And then over here, inside of the views, we'll be able to get the form inside of there if request.method is equals to post. All right. So we'll be able to get the form, but for now, I'm just going to say pass. Okay. And if I say pass, it will just, yeah, it won't do anything, but I won't even click the button. I just want to see a couple of things. I want to see that the sections will show. I want to see that the functions, this function works for the block, generating the block sections. All right, so this block section titles, I want to make sure that this works. All right. And then this URL here that select block sections, this URL. Actually, no. Yeah. So this method over here must not be on this page. I'm confusing myself. So what happens here? Use block topic. Yeah, no. So we don't need this yet. So we don't redirect there. We redirect, we return, we render this. In fact, we can just leave it there. We can leave it like that and it will render this automatically. So it will check if the length is greater than 0, and then it will add this to the request.session, and then it will add this to the context. All right, and then it will come out of this if, and then it will render this page. And if this is not the case, if the sections, it will just take you back to the block topic. So if this is the case, it will then pass through this function, and then it will end up rendering this select block section HTML, which is this HTML we've just created there. So we don't need another URL. Everything can be done in this URL. So yes, we can have if request.method here. If request.method is equals to post, and then we will complete this later. All right. So for now, this is okay. So we don't have to reroute in that case. We just sort of let it go, and then it comes in here. And this makes sure that there's a blog idea, keywords, and audience in the request session. And I think, yeah, I think that's it. So we should be able to show this page with the image and the button at the bottom of the image over there. Let's see what this would look like. That's quite a bit of coding. Blog sections. I'm actually going to start using this for my blog writing. I'm going to start using this for my blog writing. So let's see over there what's happening there. When I need to refresh this, it's frozen now. All right. Let's run this. Hope there's no errors. Okay, cool. Where is Karabo? Let us refresh this. All right. Let's go to generating a blog. And then let me say preparing for a marathon. Beginners, running, training, marathon, fitness. All right, generate the topics. All right, so we generated some topics here. Use, save. Perhaps we need to, just say use. It's obvious that it's the topic we are using. It's obvious that it's a topic we're saving, just so that we don't have this. I don't like this double button there, but I think it's because it's such a long. There are different types of runs you should do to prepare for a marathon. So let's say I say use this topic. All right? Because I'm thinking now, when I say use this topic, I should have actually saved the blog as well. Yeah. Should have saved that blog. So here in the views, the moment over here, I should have saved that blog. And then the topics that get selected. So let me just note that in here. Before I even get there, start by saving the blog. Start by saving the blog. And then, yeah. So we'll come back to that later. So let me say I decide to use this one. Okay. Oh, I didn't put the link on the button. So use blog topic. I have it in the URLs over here. Use blog topic, but I don't have it on the button. So I didn't link the button. So the button is going to be over here. It's this button. I didn't put the link on the button. All right. So the button is still not. So I have to link on the button so that the button knows that it has been clicked. All right. So over on the button over here, we're going to say URL for use the blog topic, and then we supply the blog. All right. So this blog that we've supplied is the blog that now is going to come into this use blog topic URLs. Where are they? Use blog topic URLs. So it's going to go into this use blog topic function, which is then this use blog topic function over there. So at this stage, actually, we want to save this blog because we want to be able to know which blog we are now dealing with. All right. So over here where we save the blog, where we create the blog, save it. Let's just copy the same thing over there. So we start by saving the blog. So the blog is create blog request.session.blog idea. Okay, which is there in the request.session. Keywords is there and audience is there. All right. And then, so once we've saved that blog, then we say go into the blog sections and we generate the blog sections. All right. Then once we generate the blog sections, then we check if the length is greater than 0. All right. And then we request those session blog sections. We save that in there. And, yeah. I don't even know if we need to save this in there yet, because at this stage, all we need is that blog. Yeah, we might not even need to save this in the session. Do we need to? But let's do it for now. We can delete it later if we don't need it. And then we've got the context. And then we should be able to now take us to this page here where we're going to display those sections in a table, where somebody can like select a section that they want to work with. All right. And submit this form. All right. So this form, by the way, I need a CSRF token. I was going to get an error. So it's a good thing I remembered that. So inside of the form, you can just have it directly inside of the form. Okay. The CSRF token. And actually what I want to do is I want to see what gets submitted in the form. All right. But before we do that, let's just check that this works. All right. All right. Make some space. Test the block sections. Generator. Right. Oh, did it restart already? That was quick. Did it restart? Yeah, I did. Okay. So now let's go back to generate blog. Let's say preparing for a marathon. Beginners. The keywords is running. Marathon training. Fitness. Generate the topics. Okay, how to start training, how to do speed work, taper for a marathon, what to eat, So let's say we decide to use this one. How to start training for a marathon. Let's say we decide to use this one. Okay. Select the blog sections that you would like to include in the blog. Okay. Okay. So there's something up with this. I need to get the original template so I can see what that select field needs to look like. All right. How to start running a beginner's guide, how to start training, the beginner's guide to marathon, how to start running and get fit, how to start running, tips for beginners, how to start running a marathon, oh my gosh, this is amazing topics. And I asked for 8, right? And then at this point, you're going to select the topics that you want. And then once you've selected a topic, then you're going to click this generate full blog button, which is over here. Where's that button? Is over here. So let's put this button inside of a div. All right. And then I just want to have like a margin top of 3. Right? And put that button in there. So I don't have to use breaks all the time. In fact, I can even put a margin top of 5 and have some space. It would be great if I could make this like a block button, hey? How do you do that? Button primary, button block. It should work on a thingy, but I don't know. It doesn't always. I need to open. Let me just find my old original template that we used here, so I can see first of all how to do the select and how to do a block. So I'm gonna pause this video here, and then we'll continue once I've found that that old template. All right, coolio. I found what I'm looking for. It's like a checkbox like that. All right. So we're going to use this instead of, and I think this is really clear. So I went back to our templates. Remember, this is the templates we're working with. And I found, like if you use Sneet as well, and you go under form elements, basic inputs, you can see like the form elements that you can use, and they've got a nice checkbox switches. So I decided to work with the switches. So now how to get the code for the switches, all I did was you right click on this page, right click, and then go to view page source, right? So I did that. And then I just sort of copied this like in my clipboard, right? And then I went into the page source and I searched for it, and then I found it. And then I can see this is the code for the thing. So I basically just copied it over. You can see check switch box. You can have a look, compare. Okay, default switch box. So that's the default one. And you can see where's the default one. Let's look for the default one. Not that one, the default switch. So let's copy this again. Command copy and go over there and paste that. So you can look for the default switch box. So the default switch box is this one over here. So if you copy this entire div, right, and you paste it somewhere, let me look for where I pasted it initially. Let me just like make some space at the bottom here so I can show you what is there. And you paste it there, you can see that there is like the div that opens and closes, and inside of the div there is an input and a label. I don't want the label because I'm going to use the actual block title to label it. So I removed the label and then I was left with only the input. So this is the div for these are the classes we must use, and then this is the input. And then I removed the ID because I don't want the ID. I'm going to use a name instead, right? So I'm going to have a name so that I can name it and I can get it from the backend from the request.post using the name. So that's all I did. So then I can remove that and I can show you where I've put it. So remember where you had the select and the topic. So for the select, I just pasted that div like that with the input. And for the name, instead of any name, I use a section so that based on the section on that row that you're in, it will give me the name of that section. Right. So in this specific case where I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 different rows, all of these names of these sections, they have these names is going to be the name of the select. And then all of this is inside of a form. So by the time I click this generate full blog, it submits this form with these select boxes with the names that correspond to the topics. You understand? So inside of the request.post on the view, what I can then do is I say in request.post for value in request.post. I can actually check everything that's in the request.post that has been submitted. And I just want to exclude everything that that says CF middleware token, because I've included the middleware token in my form. You'll see there, you've got the CSRF token. I don't want to print that. I don't want to save that. I'm looking just for these values because this also gets submitted in the request.post. Okay, so I don't want that token. Instead, I want just everything that's not a middleware token. So what I did is that I said for values in request.post, okay, I want just the value. Okay, so print the value. So let's print this and see what gets submitted, all right? So I'm going to do all of this. I'm going to save. I think I've pushed the changes. Let me just run the server, right? And after pushing the changes, so that I can print the value, everything that's available in the request.post, I want to see what it looks like, all right? So I'm going to refresh this page. And I'm using up so many of my tokens now because every time I refresh this page, it why is it not refreshing? Cancel. Do not resubmit. Let's go back. Enter. Jeez. All right, so I'm refreshing the page. Every time it's going to get new stuff because every time I refresh the page, it reruns this whole thing and goes and generates new block sections. It's fine. I'm using up a lot of my tokens, but it's for learning purposes. So now I want to select like how to start training for a marathon, the benefits of running a marathon, and how to make marathon training part of your lifestyle. So let's say I select these subtopics. Select the blog sections that you would like to include in your blog. All right, that you would like to include in your blog. All right, and then let me enter a paragraph there and say these blog topics will be used to generate blog sections, and you will be charged for the tokens used. Okay, so the person knows that the topic is not for fun. If they select something, it's going to be used to generate sections, and then they'll be charged for it. Okay, and then let's have like a margin top 3 over here, a little bit of a space there, and let's generate. Let's see what happens. So if you press this button, it's actually going to run, and because I'm refreshing the same page technically, which I shouldn't be doing, but I just want to see what gets printed. You'll see over here I've printed how to start training a marathon, the benefits, and how to make a marathon training part of your lifestyle. You see, so this is what I want. So these are the only 3 things that I selected, and they're the ones. So this value over here corresponds to the name of what was submitted inside of this select value. So if you look at the select value over here, the select name, the name of the select gets submitted in the request.post as a name, right? And then the value for it is going to be obviously whether it was ticked or not, but it looks like it only submits the ones which were ticked, and the ones which are not ticked, it doesn't submit, which is exactly what I want, which means when I come here, now I will only get the values from this list that the user has selected. So these values are actual block section topics. So I can then submit these values into my playground the next time around and give it this prompt, right? And it can generate me these sections, and then I can add them to the blog, right? So let me see. Oh my gosh, blog idea. So this blog ideas were saved every time I ran this. That's okay. So now I know what I want to do now. So it's gonna be a bit of coding, and I might go a little bit fast because remember I am printing as I go. All right. So over here, I'm thinking as I go. Over here, we need to start generating the blog section details. All right. And then I'm gonna have to write a function for that. So inside of my functions, I'm gonna actually just like copy that. and paste that in there, and I'm going to call it generate block section details, not titles. It will be details now, and it will be the topic, it will be the title, it will be the topic. Let's start with the blog topic. Let's start with the blog topic. It will be the blog topic, the section topic, and then it will be the audience and the keywords. All right. And then let's just like sort of put in this response thing over there. And then I just want to compare this to what I have here, because I don't want to rerun this again. I just want to get what's in here. In fact, what you can do, you can just get the prompt from here. So I can just say view code, and I can get this prompt. You see this prompt. So let's just copy this prompt. And max tokens, let's definitely make this more, 500. And then let's just paste this entire prompt, right? And then the temperature is fine at 0.7, leave everything else. Generate detailed block section write-up for the following block section heading using the block title and the audience provided. So the block title is this one. This is the block title, all right? The block section heading is this one. All right. The audience is that one. And the keywords are these ones. All right. So let's say dot format. All right, what are we starting with? This is the block title, block section heading. So it's block topic, okay? Block section heading, the audience and the keywords. You can usually just copy it like that. It is the block topic, the block section heading, the audience and the keywords. The audience and the keywords. Perfect. So you can just copy that in there. It's in that order, the audience and the keywords. And then it's going to generate your stuff and everything, okay? So once we get the response, if choices is in response, length of response choices is that. Response choices dot text. Else return that, else return that, okay? So let's just like copy this part, right? And paste it in there. Paste it in there. Right. And then otherwise you're going to just return an empty string and return an empty string if there's nothing there. But otherwise we're going to return the response. In fact, we can just say return the response. Return that. Okay. If choice is in response, length of responses is that, return that. Choice is 0 text. Okay, so we're going to return the first choice. And anyway, we are always asking for one option. So if you asked for more, you would get more. But let's just start with one. There would be maybe 2 or 3, you know, like there'd be more variations of the same thing it could give you, but it charges you for all those tokens. So obviously, and OpenAI is so good that actually the first variation is usually okay. So if choices in that, return the choices, okay? So then now, if you then run this function with a topic, a subtopic, an audience, and keywords, it will give you a paragraph, right? But I want to like, this paragraph, I want to replace all the new lines. So actually, let's do this. Let's say response. Let's have it like the way that it is, because I know it has new lines and everything in here. It's gonna come back with this kind of, you know, this you know. So I want to replace these new lines with break. Okay. And then cleaned response is equals to response dot replace everywhere there's a new line. I wanna replace it with a BR. Okay. Replace every new line with a break, and then return that. Okay, so now what we can do inside of our views, we can then copy that function and run it in here, and then we can say section is equals to that. Okay, the blog topic is going to be, the blog topic is always this blog topic here. Okay, so this blog topic is the one that's used there to generate the sections, and it's the same blog topic we put in there. The section topic now is going to be this value. This is the section topic that the user has selected that they want to generate a section for. The audience is always the same audience. It's always this request.session audience that has been saved already in the session. All right. And the keywords are the same thing. The request session keywords as were saved in the session. Right? So this is the same. So now we are able to generate a section, right? And this section is going to be like a whole paragraph with breaks in it or whatever. And after that, then we want to then say, what do we want to say? We want to then save this in the database as well. So we want to then go into the model and create for this blog section over here. It's actually just a title and a body and a blog. All right. So let's start with this blog section. So inside of the views, we're gonna create a database record. Okay, and then this database record is gonna say blog section is equals to this dot objects dot create, and then we said it's just a title and a body, right? It's just a title and a body. Let's double check. It's just a title and a body, and then there's a blog that we need to save in here, but the blog is a foreign key of that blog. So this blog here in the views, this blog here is the foreign key of the blog that we created at the top over there. Remember this blog? So this blog is that blog, and that blog will be available, so we can save it in there, and then we can close that up. Then we can save this blog section as well. All right, so we can then save this, which is saved anyway, but then this title is the value, right? And then this is the section, is the body, right? And then we don't need to do request dot sessions anymore. What we can even do now is we can clear the session. How do we clear session again? Let me just remind myself. Clear session, Django. Actually, we don't want to really clear the session, do we? Without getting logged out. Yes, that's the one. I want to clear the other values without getting logged out. Let's see. You can just clear the individual keys. It's fine. Doesn't matter. Let's not worry about clearing the section. It's not important. So what we want to do now, we want to go to another page. So we want to return, not in here. not in there, not for value in values. Yeah, we want to return in here. I want to return in this if for value in value. So after it finishes doing all of that, for every value it will do this, and then we want to return a redirect. Okay, we want to return a redirect for, we're going to create a new view where we now display the blog that we've just created for that person. So inside of the URLs, we're going to create a new blog, a new view, which is going to be the blog, the generated blog. Okay, so we're going to say view blog generated blog, view generated blog, and we're not going to send in the string. We're actually going to send in the slug of the blog. Okay, so we're going to generate a blog. Actually, we've already generated a blog, and we generated all the sections in the blog, and now we're just going to display that blog. All right, so we're going to say views, we're going to say view generated blog, and then I'm actually just going to use the same, what I'm going to call it today. So view generated blog in there, and then inside of the views, that is why I'm redirecting, and this view generated blog takes in a slug, and a slug is going to be the slug of the blog. If you remember, inside of our models, every time we specified a blog, we also specified a slug. So we're going to use that slug actually to route us to that specific instance of that blog. And we've already saved the blog, and we've already saved the sections with that blog in it. So we should be able to then recover that blog using that slug. And once we've recovered that blog with that slug, we should be able to then filter out all the blog sections that belong to that blog, and then we should be able to display them. Quite neat, hey? So now what we're gonna do in there is that we're gonna say that, and then we're gonna say the slug is equals to the blog.slug, okay? And this blog is that blog we're talking about there. So we should be able to route to this URL. So if you then create a view function for this, we can do that in here. It also has a login required, okay? And then it takes in the request. The request always comes in first, and then in this specific case we've got a slug as well. And then we're going to need to make sure that we have login required here as well, right? So put in login required, and then what we need to do here is that we need to then get the blog using that slug. All right, so we're going to say the blog is now the blog dot objects. We're going to get that blog that has that slug. All right, we're going to get a blog that has a slug that equals the slug that we provided, and we're going to put this inside of a try in case that blog doesn't exist. It should, but not to get an error, we're going to reroute the person back to, if there's a problem, we're going to send them back to where they can generate a blog topic. There was an error or something like that. All right, maybe we want to send them messages. Where are my messages? I'm not sending my messages anymore. Just something went wrong. Where are my messages? Messages. I'm trying to look for messages so I can like copy. There you go. Okay, if something goes wrong here, we just want to say messages.error, something went wrong. I don't know. Something shouldn't go wrong at this stage, but somebody could like tinker with the slug or whatever, then you take them back to that instead of crashing our app. Then once we have that blog, we can now create the context. All right. Context. All right. And then inside that context, we're going to have a context blog. All right. Blog is going to be equals to the blog, right? But then we want to fetch all the sections. Okay, fetch the created sections for the blog, all right? And then if I look at my models, the created sections, remember there's a text field, so there's no limit. You could add like as much as you want in there. So when I fetch the sections for the blog, we want to say blog sections is equals to, inside of our models, we want to fetch all these blog sections that have that blog. So it's blog sections dot objects dot filter. We want to filter based on this blog, based on that blog. So we're going to get a list of sections based on that blog. All right. Then what we're going to do, then we're going to send that to the context as well. All right, so the context blog sections, so we're going to send that those blog sections. And now suddenly we've got the blog and the blog sections. And the blog sections will be like a title and a heading, okay? So we'll be able to like, see the blog and the sections, and then we can like display all of that in an HTML page, right? So let's then do that and display that in an HTML page. And I just want to keep my consistency in naming my HTMLs. So I want to name it the same what I've named the root, okay? So we're going to do it that way, and then we're going to then copy and go into the dashboard HTML and create a new HTML page called that. And in that HTML page, we can actually just copy this HTML because it's going to have the same layout. So we're going to copy that layout right in there and paste that layout in here. And we don't have a table and a form, so let me just get rid of that whole form, right? So inside of this column LG10, let me see that other HTML. We can actually like have the blog topic in here. So this will be the blog topic. So we'll have like a blog.topic, because remember we don't need those dancing ladies anymore. So we'll have the blog.topic. Is it .topic or .title? Let me see what I called it in the blog. It's the title. All right. And then after that, I just want to like show the keywords maybe, just to remind the person what the keywords were. Okay. So let me have a look at my thing is, because I want to use let me see, I want to use like cards, not cards. I want to use user interface. Let's see, alerts, not a badge actually. I want to use a badge. So these badges, okay, let me see, view page source and look for that basic badges. All right, so there you go, badge primary, there it is. All right, so I can actually like create in here a H2, let me make it like an H5, and then put in that badge primary, and then here we will have, then instead of, we can then show the blog keywords. All right. And we'll do the word count and everything. We'll probably calculate it in the inside of the blog model itself, but we'll do that later. So now I can show now the the blog dot keywords. All right, and then maybe we have then another div. All right, and I want to imagine top of 3 here. And inside of here, I'm going to actually display a specific section. So inside of that section, I'll have like an H3, which will be the section heading. And then I'll have the section itself. Okay. So, so now inside of the views, we have these block sections. So we need to just sort of iterate through these block sections. So what I'll do there, I'll be like, okay, for section in block sections, and then we'll say and for, and then here will be the section dot title, and then section dot body. Right, so this will be section dot title, and then underneath there will be section dot body. So all the sections we've got, there'll be the title and the body, and there's no specific order at this stage, is there? Maybe it's gonna have the last section at the beginning and the first section first. we can figure out the order later, and we're still going to give people a chance to edit this in a code editor later on. But for now, let's just display the blog, and I think we've done enough for one day, and then maybe we'll continue next time with being able to now, reorganize, rewrite, reclick, clean up your blog, but I think this is already like a great start if we can get this to work, which I don't see why it should not. So let me just go through my thing again. So just my indents are correct, blog.slug. So what will happen here is that this blog will get created there, and then once it gets created, the sections will get generated, and then these sections will be displayed to the user. All right, so we won't go into the post. These sections will be displayed into the user. It will return that. Okay. Then the user will look at the sections and decide which ones they want. They will then submit a form. And then when they submit that form, we will check that form and check what the sections they've submitted. And we'll take those sections through this function and then generate the sections. And we will do it for each. So this is a for loop. A for loop is going to loop as many times as these variables exist inside of this request.post. So every time it will loop, it will make sure that there's no CS mirror token in there, and then it will generate the section, and then it will save it, and then it will loop to the next one and the next one until it loops them all. All right. Then when it's done that, when this loop is done, then it will then redirect us to this detailed page. And on the detailed page is this one over here. We will then collect the blog, which we've already saved. And this blog is the one that is going to be from the slug that we are sending ourselves to. And then the blog sections would have been saved with that blog, because this blog section, every time we save a blog section, we assign that related field of the blog to the blog that we're dealing with right now. And then it will fetch those sections. And then after it fetch those sections, then it will send them to the front. And then inside of the front, we'll then be able to see the title, the keywords, the blog's titles in a way, and the sections. All right. So let's then have a look at this one. Okay. All right, so then let's restart this. It was already restarting. Okay, so we've seen that. I'm going to go back to my Carabo, and this time we're going to start from the beginning. All right, so we're going to start. Let's use a different. Actually, before we do all of this, I want to have a look at my admin and delete all the blogs that have already been saved in there. All right, so let's admin, let's log in here and admin at skolo.online and see what is my password. All right, so let's have a look at the blogs. A couple of blogs would have been saved because it kept saving every time it was so let's delete all of these. Yes, I'm sure. All right, and inside of the blog sections, there should be nothing saved in there. All right, so then let's log out. So logged me out. So if I go back here, I'm technically logged out. So I need to log back in. All right. So let's log back in. And then now that we're in, we're going to go back to the blog. Let's pick a different topic. Let's pick something different from running. I don't know. Let's go back to CRM software. All right, so generate me blog topics around CRM software tools. All right, the blog audience is small businesses, and the keywords is CRM software tools, CRM yeah, that's okay. And then let's generate some topics. Cool. So the benefits of CRM software, the 5 best CRM, different types of CRM available for small businesses, how to implement CRM software, pros and cons, how to choose the right CRM. So I think I want to save this one for future. All right. And how to choose the right CRM for a small business. You see, it does talk to small businesses as the audience that I've selected. Hey, so let's use this one. And wait for it. It's gonna take a while because it's doing it. Oh, okay, no. This is just the sections. Oh, okay. Oh, cool. It's generating the sections. So the benefits of CRM, the different types, how to choose the right CRM, the pros and cons, top CRM, how to implement the benefits, the different types. Okay, so it's repeating some of these. Okay, so I want to say I want that. Okay. I want that one. I want the pros and cons. And I want that one. Yeah. Generate a full blog. This should take a while because technically it's going to do 4 different API calls because I've selected 4 different topics. So maybe at this stage in the future, next week, what we'll do is that at this stage, when this button gets clicked, we will have like, I don't know, we'll have like some moving, some rolling, something to let the person know that it's working in the background, because obviously they don't want to be looking at this empty page for too long. But the fact that we haven't seen an error by now, I think it's running, but it takes time. So yeah, we do want to create some sort of holding pattern over here for the user. Maybe even if it's just like a loading screen that says, we're working on it, be patient. Because what you don't want the user to do is at this stage, maybe they don't notice this and they think something is wrong and they refresh the page. You don't want that. So you actually want, when this button gets clicked, yeah, hey, isn't that amazing? Look at that. How to choose the right CRM software for your small business. This is the keywords that we selected, the benefits of CRM software for small businesses, and then we've got obviously all the breaks are showing in here. It's not really displaying them properly. We need to use save for the breaks and all of that. But I like the fact that the breaks are showing because it tells me that it is so what I'm going to do here very quickly, we can just refresh this page quickly. So here we will say the keywords are, in fact, we will say keywords so that we know this is the keywords. Okay, this is the your blog is ready. So let's have like an H1 and H2. Okay, your blog is ready. All right, let's have like a nice emoji in there. Let's have like a smiley face emoji. So that there's some excitement in there. Your blog is ready. Let's copy the emoji. Your blog is ready. Right, and then let's have a class let's have a margins, a class in here of MT3 and MB, actually just MB3. Yeah, just a margin between those, and then there'll be another margin over here. Let's see if that margin is sufficient. So there's a margin over there, yeah. So MB3 is okay. So there'll be a margin there, your blog is ready, and then we'll show the blog title, and then there'll be another margin with the whatever, and then we'll have the sections. Okay, so this section body, what I want to do is I want to say save so that it can display the breaks properly, because we put in the breaks in there. And yeah, I think this will look better now. Let's save this and have a look at our blog again. The nice thing is now this time when we refresh this page, we are not fetching the stuff again. All right, git commit, display blog again. All right. Wrong password. Okay. Wrong password. And then let's just wait for this to see if it will refresh, or we must just refresh it for them. All right. So this is running again. And then let's refresh this page. That's better. Your blog is ready. How to choose the right CRM software for a small business. These are the keywords. All right. You see now it's like, oh, the benefits of CRM software for a small business. You see now the paragraphs are prominent. You can see them nicely because there were breaks in there, but I was not showing them. What changed? The only thing that changed is that safe that I added there. It now actually interprets the breaks as actual breaks in the HTML and displays them as such. You see, because normally when you're doing this function, when you're doing the CRM, when you call the OpenAI API, when it returns you a response, it includes new lines to represent blocks. So it actually writes it like a paragraph, but it uses new lines. So for us to just convert that to HTML, I just replace them with a break so I don't forget where the new lines are in the responses. And then we can it's from experience knowing how the thing returns. And now you can see the new lines being, so this is like a proper blog. Hey, wouldn't you like be able to publish this? Look at that. Hey, the benefits of CRM software for small businesses, the CRM software market, expect to reach there are many benefits, how to choose the right CRM if you're a small business, what are your needs, how is your software, what is the price, the pros and cons, the pros, these are the cons, and how to implement whatever, define your goals, research your options. This is amazing, right? Like this is a full blog. So Karabo is now able to write blogs. Okay, so thank you guys for watching. What we're gonna do next week is we are going to now say, maybe we have a button at the bottom here that says edit, right? And then it takes to actually, I don't have to do this in here, guys. You do that, implement it yourself, all right? So you have a button in here that says edit, and then somebody can edit this, or you can just copy this whole thing if you like, all right? Copy it and paste it in your Word document and move things around if you want to edit this. We don't have to like create another editor in here. I thought I would do an editor, but actually it's not necessary. It's going to waste our time. Okay, so that's it. We've gone from generating a blog topic, generate blog sections, pick the sections you want, create your blog, right? Thank you guys for watching. Next week, we're going to do the other parts of the AI assistant because we've got the blogs. That was the most difficult thing, actually. So the hardest part is over. The next thing we're going to do is other things like cold emails, blah, blah, blah. We'll have all those generators in here, and people can pick the one that they want and go through the process and do it. And every time. And then after that, we'll start the billing. We'll figure out how to do the billing. So we charge people for it, and they can enter their credit card, payment methods, and stuff like that. And yeah, so see you guys again next week.